Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. This is a very, very special show, and this is pretty much a microcosm of what's taken place the past 4 years in the United States of America. You had people on the left, Democrats, liberals, great many progressives, saying, Russia! Oh my God! And you would think that Bernie Sanders supporters would be at the forefront of defending President Trump. Especially since, Bernie Sanders was also a part, along with Jill Stein, along with Tulsi Gabbard, and everybody the Democrats don't like. They were all Russian operatives. Because Putin is very afraid of the Democratic Party. Very, very afraid. The 20% of U.S. uranium capacity that he was able to acquire when President Obama did not veto the sale. Oh my goodness, he's shaking, quivering in his boots, Putin is. Oh my God. But, so you have President Trump, Bette Midler, this is hilarious. Even you have all of Hollywood, you have all of the left wanting, first of all, Roger Stone, President Trump commuted Roger Stone's sentence to my super chat. Thank you very much. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin. Thanks for being the two best moderators in all of YouTube. People, if you want to support my voice long term, by the way, your support allows me to do what I'm doing on my Patreon and in my super chat. But what they did, what President Trump did is he commuted the sentence. Basically didn't, I don't think, technically he pardoned. I don't know if he pardoned Roger Stone, but he commuted Roger Stone's sentence. Now, leave aside put aside your thoughts of Roger Stone. What did he do wrong? How was he treated, and how was Clinton treated? Did Roger Stone have servers outside of the United States government with top secret intelligence on them? Did he delete 30,000 emails and then basically break cell phones with hammers and have his lawyers delete any communication or documents that he deemed irrelevant? No, of course not. So it really doesn't matter. Look, Roger Stone, what he did was he pretended, because nobody knows how the DNC emails were obtained. James Clapper is highly to moderately confident that Russia hacked the DNC to hurt Clinton. The CrowdStrike CEO does not have direct evidence, but he is pretty certain, but not certain. He's pretty confident, but not confident. So we have this already. We already have this on record. And now you have the left saying, well, Stone should be in jail, and so should Michael Flynn, and Carter Page worked for Russia somehow, and George Papadopoulos did, and you have all of these people, 34 people indicted. For what? It's so simple. All they did was the following. They began investigations based on information literally purchased by Trump's direct political rivals. They had nothing. They never had any evidence that Trump worked with Russia. They don't even have evidence that Russia even interfered in the election. There's not one person who looked at Facebook ads and said, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to vote for Trump over Clinton because of these Facebook ads. The way Democrats work is you have to have ironclad proof that Clinton owned servers to hide communication. So I want a letter from Putin saying the Facebook ads with a link to a Russian troll farm was directly ordered by Putin because he was so afraid of Clinton. He just couldn't infiltrate private servers that were unencrypted for 3 months. And then they say, well, we indicted Russian intelligence officials. Yeah, based on CrowdStrike's assessment. CrowdStrike is not certain about anything. They asked the CrowdStrike CEO. They're the only people who looked at DNC servers. And the indictments stated, we do not. So here's what the CrowdStrike CEO stated: we do not have concrete evidence that data was exfiltrated from the DNC, but we have indicators that it was exfiltrated. That is not enough to put away a whole bunch of people, simply because you want retribution and revenge. You want vengeance for what? For losing? For cheating Bernie Sanders? All of this revolves around Bernie Sanders being cheated. And you know it's going to be Hillary Clinton. Clinton is going to be nominee. I will have made the biggest political call of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. But what did this man do wrong? I want to know what he did. See, you cannot, it's illegal to utilize the United States government to go after political opponents, which is what they've done. They did not find anyone who, they went after President Trump, his campaign, everyone associated with him, with a vengeance, and they hardly investigated the Clinton email servers. And they hardly investigated, actually they didn't investigate, really, the foundation. So there's two tiers of justice. Now, Democrats say, well, you know what? They do worse, so this is politics, and we have control now. The Bush administration did worse, but President Trump is reversing. He's reversing foreign policy that started with Bush and then continued with President Obama. So he's not really a Republican. They say that he's like, the Democrats like to have it every way possible. He's a Republican, and then they say, well, he's doing things a Republican wouldn't do. Then they champion the Lincoln Project, which is all Bush era, writers and pundits and strategists. So if you opposed Dick Cheney, and you opposed Rumsfeld, and you opposed Bush, but you voted for President Obama, and then you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, why are you voting for the same people that Bill Kristol and Max Boot and James Clapper and John Brennan are voting for? The left has twisted itself into the most hypocritical, disingenuous, and duplicitous pretzel. They're like this ball of yarn that is just all intertwined with mental gymnastics. They have zero grasp of logic. Read my Jerusalem Post article on AOC. I have a Jerusalem Post article on AOC and historical record that everyone should read. I want to make sure that it's below. Everyone should read my Jerusalem Post article. It's an op-ed that I wrote last year on how people like wonderful progressive politicians like AOC completely twist historical record to suit their own vapid, nonsensical, completely irrational viewpoints. You cannot make false analogies and utilize absurd metaphors and make moral equivalencies all the time using history to suit your own goals or political objectives. You can't do that. So if you look, let's see, I should have, where is the Jerusalem Post article? If you look, where the heck is my Jerusalem Post article? Let's see. If you look right... Oh, okay. If you look right in the middle of the pinned comment, why is that not there? So, okay. All right, I'm going to add that. So it's actually right below my writing in the Huffington Post Salon, and then the Hill, and then the Federalist. So just look at the pinned comment. You'll see it. But old school dad, man! This whole thing is fabricated. No one should have been legally charged. Thanks, Sessions. Great job. Well, exactly. That's true. Sessions was the worst. The absolute worst. Old school dad, man, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. 1998 Blue Dog. This is reliable evidence that the hack. 1988 Blue Dog. We don't know, but what we do know is that nothing makes sense. So, 1988 Blue Dog, thank you so very, 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 very much. 1988 Blue Dog, thank you. Old school dad, man, thank you. I'm going to put below in the comments section, there's a great article that everyone should read. And it's in the it's an op-ed that I wrote in the Jerusalem Post. And it's basically explaining how AOC should read a history book. And I don't know why I didn't put this. It says, tell Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez that 1.1 million human beings, lost their lives. Jewish people lost their lives. And then you can't really say, I can't really go into it because of YouTube guidelines. But this is my Jerusalem Post op-ed. And I'll put it right underneath Meet the Biggest Bernie Sanders Booster on the Internet. And it's going to be underneath oh my God, why is this? I'm doing it right now during the live stream. But it'll be underneath the Washington Post article calling me the biggest Bernie, the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters. And this is my Jerusalem Post op-ed. Everyone should read that because it's really important. And it's historical record. You cannot look at history and say, well, Trump is just like this regime, and just like this, horrible. You can't do that. You cannot do that. And if you engage in that kind of absurd mindset, then you're going to lose politically. Always, you'll lose politically. Always. I swear to God, I can't. This is impossible to do right now. I don't know why I'm doing it right now, but ladies and gentlemen, you have a situation where they want revenge, retribution, and they don't care if it ruins people's lives. They don't care. They do not care if it ruins people's lives. They do not care because they're all about retribution. They're all about revenge. They're all about vengeance. Pop analysis! Hola, H.A. Roger Stone. I met him at the 2017 Cannabis Expo. Nice. In New York, he's quite a character. His cannabis line was going to be tricky to get. Well, I don't know if I wouldn't smoke that, actually, myself, but that's funny. That's funny. Pop analysis. I hope all is well. Thank you. Yeah, Roger Stone is, I'm sure, a very interesting character, Pop analysis, and I think he made his In some ways, he made his own bed regarding all of this, but he did not deserve, I think that we all agree, he did not deserve what they railroaded him because of this whole kind of act that he was in the know and all this stuff. But Pop Analysis, thank you so very much. I hope all is well. Hope you had a great July 4th. And Pop Analysis, please be here November 3rd. And I remember you were doing a collaboration with Kevin's Corner. Please tell Kevin's Corner he's awesome. I watch him all the time. He's fantastic. So Pop Analysis, thank you so much as always. And great appearance on Fox News. Everyone, Pop Analysis was on Fox News. So great appearance. Kurt Leonard! Your article, Rush Limbaugh's How is relevant again. All roads. Kurt Leonard, yep. Well, you know it's going to happen. And when it does, it's going to be, oh my God. It's going to, you know what? It's going to be the song, it's going to be that song that what was I singing? They're going to sing that song about how much they love Hillary. Oh my God, it's going to happen. Kurt Leonard, at the convention, they are going to just say, oh my God, they are going to say, they're just going to explain how much they love Madam Secretary, and they're just going to say that they're going to talk about that, and it's interesting. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it happens. It's just a matter of when it happens. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I have a great article that I wrote, a column in The Hill in 2015 before there were certain people who were like, he's writing against Hillary. Don't let him, whatever. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Anyway, I wrote, putting U.S. soldiers in this location of the world that I'm not even going to talk about because it's a big problem, will lead to another devastating counterinsurgency conflict. Please go ahead and share that too. That's all below. Why? What is wrong with me? Why do I wait until right now? How can I wait until right now to put the most important writing? I thought I had exactly what I wanted in this pinned comment, but apparently I didn't. So hold on. You're gonna have a whole bunch of fantastic article, op-eds, and columns. I'm just updating this right now. I don't know why I'm doing this. But anyway, the point is, they're going to lose the election. President Trump's, they think that he's like this lawless person. They don't get. And so, Kurt, thank you. Jimmy from Philly! 14 hours ago on my 30th ban for Facebook. Is it a 30th ban or ban for 30 days? My previous Facebook post is despicable. Is it your 30th ban or a ban for 30 days this time? Jimmy from Philly! I know I'm not on Facebook anymore. It's going to go the way of MySpace. Hopefully very soon. Hopefully very, very soon. Jimmy from Philly! Bimanukas BXN! HA Terrific, Orange Man. Stone for FBI. Bimanukas BXN! Thank you, Kurt. Kurt Leonard, thank you again, Kurt. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm almost done. I don't know why. I swear to God, I don't know why I waited so long to update my pinned comment. It's like consuming me now, and I shouldn't be because I'm busy doing, anyway. Doing this fantastic live stream. But he didn't do anything wrong. Just, look, we could just narrow it down to the following. He did nothing wrong. They set him up and framed him just like they set up. The only thing, Papadopoulos, Carter Page, Michael Flynn, they did not make their own bed. They were completely set up. Roger Stone was set up, but they utilized his words against him. A lot of what Roger Stone was doing was trying to, promote this view. Boomer Dickens BXN, thank you. Promote this view that he was in the know, that he was part of, that he understood what was going on with the DNC emails and all that stuff. And James Clapper is highly to moderately confident about everything. He's highly to moderately confident about everything. So it's like you can't you can't go ahead and you can't say, well, he obstructed justice. There was no crime committed. What was the crime that was committed? I want to know. What was the crime that was committed? There was no crime committed. What did he do prior to them trying to set him up? There was no crime committed. So, what exactly was it that he did to deserve going to prison for 3 to 4 years? He was a first-time nonviolent offender, and Democrats want this. He's over 70 years old. He didn't even commit a crime. They got him on obstruction of justice. And, so Clinton actually deleted and, literally went ahead and just absolutely bashed cell phones with hammers. Quinn Smith! Quinn Smith, hello! Jimbo, Stone commuted. Yes, absolutely. It's never obstruction of justice when they do anything. It's never obstruction of justice. Old school dad man, no Sessions recusal, no special counsel. Exactly. Jimmy from Philly, 36. How many just get off. You know what? When I deleted Facebook, deleted Twitter, is the best thing that ever happened to me. Jimmy from Philly, just delete. Who needs them? Jimmy from Philly. Old school dad, man. Yeah, exactly. Sessions recusal was everything. Then you have people trash Sessions. Then you have people like, what does an armadillo do in the sun? Patriots. The ice cream is melting slowly. Is Stone free? Can you get water from a stone? Stay tuned. Patriots. We're going to the same place. To the dry cleaners. I can't go I'm going to the gym. Then I'm going to the supermarket. Then I'm going to the newsstand. Then I'm going to go home. So why would we go in the same place, same time? I don't want to go with you all. You can take your car. You go where you want to go. I'll go where I want to go. Okay? That's why we have two cars. Anyway, the whole thing is they are so upset. It's so interesting to watch. Democrats like, this lawless president. He's so lawless. What did Stone do? Oh, he obstructed justice. What was the crime? Well, when we were setting him up, he did something during the setup. Oh, so you didn't really have anything on Stone, right? Well, he could have worked with Russia. He could have also married a Martian and flown to Jupiter and then came back to Earth. What else could he have done that he didn't do? What does that even mean? You're just trying to help Trump. The vitriol for Trump, by the way, is so nonsensical and it's unwarranted. It's completely unwarranted. So, by the way, my pinned comment is completely almost perfect now. I have my Jerusalem Post op-eds. I have my some op-eds in The Hill. Well, one op-ed that I wrote against counterinsurgency conflicts. And so it's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. But, I mean, like, why on earth are Democrats up in arms? Like, how does it help the Democratic Party? And this is one of the reasons they'll lose. How does it help the Democratic Party? I mean, it helps Clinton, who will be the nominee, but how does it help the Democratic Party if Roger Stone goes to prison? What does that even mean? Like, who cares? How does that help Democratic voters? You would think the left doesn't want to send people to jail for no reason, but here, Trump commutes Roger Stone's sentence days before prison term set to begin. So this is fantastic. Because he didn't do anything wrong. Did nothing wrong. The White House announced Friday that President Trump signed an executive grant of clemency. Nice. Commuting the unjust sentence of Roger Stone just days before the longtime political operative was stated to report to prison to serve more than 3 years for charges stemming from the former special counsel Robert Mueller. Remember, they were like, Mueller time, yeah! And then it was like, wah, wah, wah. Then you had Mueller's like, what page was that? What happened to McKinley? What? What page? Page 7, page 69? Ooh. What am I reading? What was that? The DNC? I don't know. He was like doing a Biden. None your business. AJ Goodman want to get Nixon. You know what's funny? I already have a Nixon tattoo, so I'd have to show you my Richard Nixon tattoo, and then, But thank you. None your business. Yes, none your business. Thank you so much. Thank you as always, none your business. Thank you. As always, be here November 3rd, none your business. Adam Author 458. Now it's Assange's turn. I pray, I wish. Oh my God, could you imagine? Could you imagine if President Trump did that? That would be amazing. He should do that. He really should. Remember niggas BXN? Latinos for Trump. Latinos for Trump. Trump's secret orange hue is dope. Remember niggas BXN? Yes. That's true. Bimbo Dickens BXN, have you listened to... Oh, thank you for watching from Holland. Stijan Vorhev, thank you so very, very much. Stijan Vorhev, thank you. Thank you for watching in Holland. Thank you so very, very much. To my viewers in the Netherlands, thank you so very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Stijan. Thank you so very, very much. Everybody watching in other countries, I'm just very proud and happy and honored I'm very honored that you do watch in other countries. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stijan Vorhiv. Thank you so very much. Thank you. So, none of your business. You know, Eric H526, thank you. So, I mean, it's like they're upset. They're all up in arms. They're so upset. The word that I can't say, in chief commuted the sentence of his longtime friend Roger Stone on 7 felony crimes. Just before he was reported to prison, law and order, my behind. Yeah, that is law and order. They went after him simply for political reasons. He did not obstruct justice because there was no a crime that Mueller was investigating. It was the possibility of a crime, which is why you should never have had a special counsel to begin with. We actually did have a very bizarre and shady uranium deal that was signed off by President Obama. He could have vetoed the sale. He did not. Why? Tens of millions of dollars, well over $100 million in total, was, there was a money transfer. You had the New York Times article right here, cash flow to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. Then they say anything that anything that goes against their little narrative, is, oh my God, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. So, if you just put a word search for the word million, you get 21 times in this article. As the Russians gradually assumed control of Uranium One in 3 separate transactions from 2009 and 2013, Canadian records show a flow of cash made its way to the Clinton Foundation. Uranium One's chairman used his family foundation to make 4 donations totaling $2.35 billion. Could you imagine if it was the Trump's foundation? Then before that, it was $31.3 million. Then it was whether the donations played a role in the approval of the uranium deal is unknown. Here you go. But the episodes underscored the special ethical challenges presented by the Clinton Foundation, headed by former president who relied heavily on a foreign cash to accumulate $250 million in assets, while his wife helped steer American foreign policy as Secretary of State, presiding over decisions with potential benefits to the foundation's donors. There you go. And then in a statement, Brian Fallon said, "No one has ever produced a shred of evidence." That's because she deleted 30,000 emails supporting the theory that Clinton never took action as Secretary of State to support the interests of donors. Then why didn't President Obama veto the sale? Why did Bill Clinton meet with Vladimir Putin? I mean, these are questions they would have asked anybody. $250 million? $250 million? And so why did they even accept the money? Why did they give $2.35 million? Why did these executives give $2.35 million in the span of 4 years? Is that just nothing? How does that work? How does that work? I mean, I swear to God, if it's anything to do with Democrats, they're like, oh, no problem. But if it's Trump, oh, you always have to be suspicious. You always have to be suspicious. You can never not. You can't be suspicious enough. Then they pledged $100 million prior to all of this. I mean, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. None of this is sustainable. None of it is sustainable. But again, it's like the way they see things is it's okay for us, it's not okay for you. It's okay for us, it's not okay for you. So So the committee on this is a really, really interesting article. It's probably the best. This is the best article, ever written on. One of the best articles ever written in the New York Times on the Clintons and the Democratic Party. Which, by the way, they will never admit. They will just never, ever admit. So none of this, absolutely none of this is, this is, if the tables were turned, they would never allow President Trump. They would form 5-6 special counsels. But see, again, they have a very interesting they have an interesting viewpoint on the rule of law. The rule of law is whatever they find suspicious. If it's not suspicious to them, well, what's the problem? Roger Stone is a victim of the Russia hoax, and the left and its allies media perpetuated for years in an attempt to undermine the Trump presidency. McEnany said in a statement Friday night, "It's true. There was never any collusion between Trump campaign or Trump administration with Russia. If you set up somebody and utilize the full weight of the United States government and basically use the government against them, that's not legal. You cannot have political investigations predicated upon the possibility of wrongdoing. You have to actually see. There was no investigation on the possibility that the Democratic headquarters in Watergate was broken into. It was broken into. We know it was broken into. That's it. The DNC being infiltrated by Russia is a high to moderate confidence assessment. And the CrowdStrike CEO did not have concrete evidence. So all of this, ladies and gentlemen, when it happens and when Madam Secretary becomes nominee, people will see that all of this was all for a reason. This was not Luke St. Martin. Thank you, Luke St. Martin. Eric H526, I should say thank you. And Luke St. Martin, thank you. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like they had nothing. They set up Roger Stone, and then they got him on process crimes. That's not law and order. Law and order would be like if you commit a crime, you do the time. But what crime did he commit? I want to know what crime he committed prior to them trying to set up and frame Stone. So a process crime, let's look up process crime. In the United States criminal procedure terminology, a process crime is an offense against the judicial process. The crimes include failure to appear, false statements. So the judicial process was utilized against President Trump. That's not law and order. So when they're like, "Oh yeah, look at Trump, he said law and order," well, that's not what law and order is. You can't set up and frame people, and then when you get them on statements that you try to deceive them or trick them into saying something they're not really sure of. You can't then say, you see, he's guilty. It's like that could have been the case for everyone. Clinton literally stated she didn't know what the C meant. She didn't know the C meant classified. Where was the process? Isn't that a process crime? Clinton didn't know C. Clinton told the FBI she didn't know C, Mark, meant emails were confidential. Sorry, so confidential. This is the person more qualified than anyone on the planet, and then didn't know that the C meant confidential. Of course, there is evidence showing that Clinton did know that the C meant confidential. So there you go. There you go. Hillary Clinton defends not knowing State Department classification markings. Are you kidding me? So then they lose the election because you have somebody who was not... They didn't go after Clinton for process crimes there because it's easy to prove that the Secretary of the United States of America was briefed and knew that C means confidential and that, there are different ways to differentiate classified and top secret intelligence. So I mean, it's like you can't go after people on process crimes when you didn't go after Democrats on process crimes. Furthermore, you can't have special counsels on things that aren't criminal. There was no collusion with Russia. He never worked with Russian intelligence. That never happened. That just simply never happened. It didn't happen. It was fabricated. The whole thing was fabricated. So, there you go. Then you have an article, not mere process crimes, false statement prosecutions are serious. Yeah, they are. Not in this case, though. He was set up. Of course, if there's an actual crime and you have obstruction of justice, that's very serious. That's a very serious process crime. Not what Michael Flynn, or because they set him up and framed him. There's no 302s proving that he lied. False statements. Second, in the context of counterintelligence investigations, lies can also compromise national security. There was no national security compromise. The DNC is not national security. It's a private entity. So here you have a very interesting just security article, not mere process crimes. False statement prosecutions are serious. Yeah, they are, when there's an actual crime committed. When there's no crime and you're looking just like, so they knew they couldn't get Trump or anyone around him on working with Russia because that never happened. It never, ever happened. It's absurd. Then they said, well, if we can't get him on that, we'll get him on the, just process crimes. In case you haven't noticed, Special Counsel Mueller, this is December 20th, 2018. In case you haven't noticed, Special Counsel Mueller takes lying very seriously, apparently not with Clinton or Clapper or Brennan. As we witnessed during Clapper and Brennan lied under oath, and they were completely, like nothing happened to them. Critics and commentators such as Lindsey Graham and Rudy Giuliani have tried to downplay convictions for false statements as process crimes, suggesting that they are somehow less egregious than other violations of the law. No, if there's an actual criminal investigation based on a crime that's been committed, then it's very serious because you can actually that would be part of obstruction of justice because you won't be able to find out what truly happened with a crime that was committed. What was the crime committed by President Trump? Oh, that's right. There was none. They were investigating the possibility he did something. Sorry, that's not... You're utilizing the United States government to investigate the possibility that Trump did something, but not the possibility that Clinton did something. Or that the possibility that money, millions upon millions of dollars, into the Clinton Foundation possibly influenced the State Department, which we have like a whole bunch of examples of money flowing in and then weapons deals and then uranium deal and all these things. So, but you didn't investigate the possibility that something took place there. You did with President Trump, not because of a transfer of money, because of a Steele dossier that was purchased. So you literally purchased a dossier. The intelligence community utilized a dossier that was purchased by Trump's direct political rival, who happened to be the person he defeated. And then they utilized process crimes to go after people on trying to find out what possibly could have taken place that they have no evidence took place. To those who work in the criminal justice system, crimes based on lying are very serious and for good reason. Oh, I agree. That's true. First, lies impede an investigator's quest for the truth. Well, what was the truth here? The truth can't be something that possibly happened. The truth must be something that actually, a crime that did occur. They indicted Russian intelligence officials on CrowdStrike's assessment. They don't even know with certainty what exactly happened. Our system of justice requires witnesses to tell the truth. Well, let's look at the 302s. How do we know that Flynn lied to FBI officials? Well, he pled guilty. Yeah, and they tried to intimidate him into pleading guilty. Happens all the time. But also in their unsworn statements, law enforcement. When witnesses make false statements, the lies send investigators in the wrong direction. This never happened here because there was no direction to go. They fabricated the possibility of a crime. Prevent them from confirming facts. There were no facts here. It was the Steele dossier. It was made up. And prolong or even derail the investigation. So we can go on. False statement offenses are charged in cases involving, and then they go all these different actual crimes that did occur. See, when they went after Trump, they weren't going after a crime that occurred. He never did anything. Jeanette! How's it going? Thank you, Jeanette. Going great. Jeanette Channing, thank you. Old school dad, man. We saw. Yeah. Unbelievable. So Jeanette, thank you so very, very much. Old school dad, man, thank you. Thank you, Jeanette. Hope you're having a great evening. Thank you. This is the thing also, like, their reality is a cyber reality. You know, if you grew up before social media, before the internet, before cell phones were ubiquitous, you could decide when to be bothered by people. Like, you had to focus your attention on the people you were with, your family, your friends, your significant other, a football game, whatever. Your reality was right in front of you, what your eyes saw right in front of you, the human beings in front of you. Your reality was more of a shared experience, even with people who you didn't agree with politically, than it is now. You did not have this world to escape into. If, like Trump said, all of these people are criminals. He mentioned all of them. No, that's not true. Do you have the quote? I know what he meant. It says right here in this 10,000 retweeted passage. So the Democrats have created this fantasy world. Miller Chilmore! My friends are freaking out about the Stone commute. They don't know anything about the case, but the New York Times tells them to freak out, so they do. Miller Chilmore, can I tell you something? I have a friend of mine who his political views are just, that's it. It's the New York Times. He doesn't realize that the New York Times doesn't acknowledge the ODNI and DHS report that states with only high to moderate confidence this whole thing even occurred. They're not certain of their most cherished principles. Millard Fillmore, thank you. Chillmore. Millard Chillmore, thank you. George Rivera Jr. Millard Chillmore, I know. George Rivera Jr. Have you seen the video of Stone dancing Can't Touch This? That's true. Roger can bust a move, yeah. He looks good. I think he's lost some weight. Looks good. Yeah, George Rivera Jr., thank you so very much as always. George, be here November 3rd. It's going to be a party. It's going to be absolute. It's just going to be amazing. George Rivera Jr., thank you so very much as always. I saw a little bit of the video, and it's just going to be awesome. Yeah, I mean, you look, and it's like they just want George Rivera Jr., they just want revenge, vengeance, retribution. They don't care. Like, they utilized the government to go after people who were innocent. When these people, through intimidation or through a misinterpretation of statements, if the United States government wanted to go after the Clinton campaign or Clinton for utilizing the servers with top secret intelligence, they would have asked, how did you get the top secret intelligence on there? Are you certain that nobody hacked the system? They could have asked those questions, and you could get a million different perjury charges just from those answers. Oh, really? You didn't know, but you signed this agreement. So, okay. So you could go, and then Clinton actually, like Judicial Watch already has all the different statements. Well, Clinton acknowledged the top secret intel, classified intel. They told her not to use her BlackBerry at certain times, or I forgot exactly, but it's like a pretty amazing quote from Clinton, and even Comey stated that the actual email investigation, the IG report stated that one person definitely committed perjury, but they didn't go after that person. So George Rivera Jr., thank you as always. Thank you, George. Thank you. Carol, thank you. Yeah, right now they're all upset. They think that the Mueller probe is law and order. The Mueller probe was a political appointment. It was purely politics. Then they're like, it's Trump's own Justice Department. No, it's not. Sessions was basically working for, essentially. You might as well have had Eric Holder, Attorney General Loretta Lynch. You might as well have had a Democrat as Attorney General. That's basically it. I swear to God, the LMNOP, the people who started almost certainly are like Democrats. They're like, this is what we're going to do. Millions upon millions of people who vote for President Trump are yearning for some kind of justice because we get away with everything. So we're gonna go on this disgraced message board, and we're gonna start writing bizarre poetry, like this conservative slam poetry, and then it's gonna be we'll say things like patriot and God's with you, and we're gonna go to the same place at the same time, and people will really believe it. And then we'll say things like absurd things like trust Sessions, okay? Because Sessions is come on. Look, unfortunately, that's why I've always said, people are desperate for some kind of explanation for things that are just so unfair. They're overtly unfair. And that's why you cannot trust message boards. You can't trust message boards. That's why when I used to read from, because I always read from CNN or the New York Times or the Washington Post or whatever. Old School Dad, 117 days until Cure is released. Old School Dad, man, the cure for TDS. Old School Dad, man, thank you. George Rivera Jr., thank you as always, George. Pete Solano. HM, I'm worried my niece is 15. When she's going to support AOC, what do I do? Pete, nothing. Pete Solano, nothing. The best advice I could give is you just say, God bless you, and do not ever, if your niece asks you questions about, AOC, have her read my Jerusalem Post op-ed. It's below in the pinned comment on my thoughts about how she distorts historical record. But do not ever, you know what it's like? It's like, it's like if you tell a young person, hey, don't listen to this music, they're going to want to listen to the music even more. Don't listen to heavy metal. Don't listen to rock and roll. So Pete, if you said, you know what, don't listen to, Slayer or, Eazy-E or, don't listen to the Ramones, they're going to want to listen, or, any new band or group or musical artist, they're going to want to listen more simply because you said not to. Don't do anything and just let her, let's put it this way. It took me my whole life I still have never voted Republican until this 2020 election. And that's only because Trump. I mean, Second Amendment now, I'll be voting Republican because I don't want... Do not think that they don't want to erase the Second Amendment. They totally want to erase the Second Amendment. They do. I have been told from people, like, yeah, we should just ban all of them. Well, there you go. But Pete, it's okay. I mean, Pete Solano, thank you. That is not, never let politics get in the way of family or friends. I'm kind of glad, like, the people that I've known, I've known these people for, I've known certain people. I'd probably say 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, hold on, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4 people, possibly 5. Well, 4 people I've known for 30 years. And I'm basically, it's sad to say, through no fault of my own, because I really don't care what they think about in terms of politics. I've never have, and I never made politics an issue, because I was always on the left alongside them. But I've known them for about 30 years plus. Over 35 years. And about 30 years. And out of nowhere, they're the ones who, come out of the woodwork and say, I can't speak to you anymore. You like Trump. You like Trump. And it's like, okay, so 30 years, and President Trump's only going to go 8 years, and you cheated Bernie Sanders, which I'm sure he was very happy with. But the brold, hello. But it's like, wow, so I knew you for 30 years. We have all of these great memories. And so because of Trump, the Orange Menace, all 30 years have evaporated. Ah, okay. So that actually shows who they are as individuals. So in a way, I'm pretty blessed to let me know their what they're capable of. If you have a person who cares so little about you that they would let Trump or any politician get in the way of a friendship or a family bond or whatever, that says something horrible about them, not you or President Trump. So, but Pete Solano, never let Jeanette Channing, hello, Jeanette, never let politics get in the way of family or friends and look, if she wants to, because look, I was there. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet. This is before Rose Twitter. It's so funny too, because I went from a politician that was so not fashionable to support, in a very small little section of the Democratic Party, it was fashionable, but it was definitely not. I got hit pieces, everything. Then I went to President Trump, which the left doesn't think is fashionable either. So, Ranger Partners, thank you. But yeah, I mean, don't let anyone. I'm telling you right now, if I'm at like a restaurant or a bar or a get together and I'm with more than one person or two people that I know that I care about, that if they try to lure me into, so do you agree with Trump on this? I'm taking out my credit card or my cash, and I'm going to hold it like this. I'm about to go. I'll finish my drink or what? Not even finish the drink. I'll not even finish the enchilada or whatever I'm eating. I'd be like, if you say one more word, I'm going to go. No, I just want to let you know. Do you agree with what Trump is? Okay, thank you. Good seeing you. Okay, bye. And then I'm going to go. I don't care. I don't care how long it took me in traffic. And I'm out. I'm out. On the way home, I'll listen to Tim Pool and Styx and, Amazing Lucas and Kevin's Corner and Black Conservative Patriot and HB. And, I'm fine. I don't really need to. Don't engage or don't, if they try to bring you into, the discussion, it's a no-win situation. You cannot win. You cannot win. If you're at a birthday party, if you're at Thanksgiving, well, Thanksgiving will be after November 3rd. What's up? Oh my God. And this is even after, because when Trump wins again, they're going to be like, ah! So if you're at a get together and just want to let you know, so you voted for Trump? You allowed this to happen? Be like, okay, look, I flew in for the birthday party. I flew cross country. Just want to let you know. No, did you voted for Trump? Did you? He won now. He's 8 years. He's a maniac. He's a monster. Then you could just go back to the hotel and just relax. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth it. So, it's not worth it because they actually don't see Trump. They don't see. They've created a President Trump, so they have created a President Trump. The person that the person that you look at and the person they look at are two different people. They do not look at President Trump, the president who signed the First Step Act, the president who signed legislation increasing funding for historically black colleges and universities, the president who signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, the president who stepped foot in North Korea, the president who presided over record low unemployment, the president who presided over record low black and Latino unemployment, the president who's presiding over economic numbers that will lead to a V-shaped recovery. There's anytime you say, well, President Trump stepped foot in North Korea, you get this. Really? Yeah, really. Really? Well, President Trump had record low unemployment. Really? Yeah, really. Really? Really? Yeah, really. Really? Yes. We can do this all day. Really, 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 really. They don't care. You're okay with his rhetoric? Oh my God. I'm so out of it. Let me see this. I think that Jorge Masvidal will win. I think that he'll win. Although I think, my God, that's a great. I like Usman, though, a lot, too. A lot. Kamaru Usman I like, but I think Jorge Masvidal will win. But don't quote me. I do think though that Masvidal will win. But Usman is amazing. So I don't know. If you had to if you had to if you had to I think Jorge Masvidal. I think Jorge Masvidal. But Usman is very, 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 very good. But my final answer is Masvidal. Just because I think that in the experience is going to win out. But Usman is going to be like great for a long, long time. So, Mr. Tech applied for, yeah. I mean those are the two best in their division right now. So, I really like Tyron Woodley also. But that is actually a really great division. Jorge Masvidal, I think, will get the title. I think so. But I think that both fighters will be there for a long, long time. They're both young, and Usman he's amazing. So he's really amazing. He is amazing. There's a lot of fighters that I really like. Israel Adesanya is pretty awesome too. He's very awesome. My favorite, I'd say the two best of all time are Fedor and John Jones. Fedor and John Jones. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Jimbo! Stone commuted. That's right. Jimbo! It's gonna be amazing, ladies and gentlemen. November 3rd. You have the biggest title match. You have the biggest MMA, the biggest boxing heavyweight title. You have the biggest of everything. November 3rd. And you better hope. See, there are so many pitfalls. This is the problem also, ladies and gentlemen. This is the problem also. If they don't get the popular vote, if they do not get the popular vote, then, if they don't get the popular vote, then it's a huge problem. A huge problem. The popular vote is almost as important for the electoral college for them, because they need to. Okay, they're not going to win the electoral college. Trump could get Minnesota and Nevada. They have zero margin of error, and they're not going to get Florida or Ohio because Trump is doing extremely well there. You also have to take into account gosh, when is that? It's tomorrow. Oh my God. That's going to be amazing. Masvidal Usman is going to be a historic fight. I think Jorge Masvidal will win. But Usman is amazing. So, really amazing. So, that's going to be an historic fight. But I'd like to see like Conor McGregor versus Masvidal or Conor McGregor versus Usman. I like Conor McGregor too. But it's going to be amazing. Pete Solano! I'm a Broncos fan, and the Orange Crush will protect my Orange President Trump. That's old school Orange Crush. 70s or 70s Broncos. That's right. That's right. Pete Solano. Pete Solano. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pete, thank you so much. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, never, ever let politics get in the way of life or family or anything. Don't ever, ever, ever let that take place. Pete Solano, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll probably be back around 11:30. So, be here. We'll do something on it at 11:30, 11:45, 11:30, about an hour or so. Thanks, everybody. God bless. To my super chat, thank you so much. Pete Solano, thank you. Everybody, thanks so much. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526, the two best moderators in all of YouTube. Thank you very much. Before we go, let's just see what else is going on really quickly. So that's great too, because the commutation means there's no implication of guilt. He was under enormous pressure to turn on him. He would have eased his situation considerably, but he didn't. You know, think about that for a second, really quickly. Think about that. They tried to get Stone to turn on Trump, but there was nothing. They didn't do anything wrong. Trump didn't do anything wrong. They tried to go after him, try to set him up. You have one man, the Orange Monster, the Orange Menace, Trumpy, going up against Clapper, Brennan, Strzok, McCabe, Comey, the entire Democratic Party, the Clintons, Hollywood, music industry. He's going, media, the New York Times, the Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, cable news. I mean, who does he have in his corner? Well, he has you. He has me. He has 63 to 65 million Americans. I don't care if someone says, don't listen to the Ramones. I'm going to listen to the Ramones. Or don't listen to whatever. I listen to the music I want. I'll vote for the person I want. He's a good president. They were trying to go after Trump based on like a fantasy. What happens when their fantasy is no longer around on November 3rd and he gets a mandate? President Trump could get the popular vote. He'll get the Electoral College. If he gets the popular vote also, it's pretty much game over. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, everybody. God bless. See you soon in about an hour. Be here on this channel. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. Thank you. And I'll be there. I'll be back in about an hour.